Good morning, everybody, and a happy Tuesday morning to you. You know, this picture above, my husband and I went to eat breakfast at Cracker Barrel Sunday morning, and this picture just happened to be next to our table. Do you see what that is, what it says on the drum? Disabled American Veterans. How freaking cool is that? I love that's like karma. All right, you guys, we have a lot to cover today, but this time one video only. So let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We are starting off. It's called the Maiden Yacht. I'm air quoting Maiden Yacht. It's got an all-female crew. It's an 8-month around the world ocean globe race that has 4 legs. It starts and ends in the UK and stops in South Africa, New Zealand, and Uruguay. Queen Camilla put up a very nice note showing that this crew brings messages of hope to girls across the world, and she wishes fair winds and following seas. Very nice. All right, moving on. All right, we're going to move on now to Catherine. I'm not very happy with the Daily Mail's title here. The Beaming Duchess looks elegant. She's Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales. You missed that one by a mile. Anyway, there were 60,000 people strong. She went to watch England play Argentina at the Rugby World Cup in France. She was greeted by all the officiants and was greeted by, I hope I say this right, Bill Beaumont, who is the chairman of World Rugby before the match in France. Very nice. I love that she went to her seat. Everybody was so excited to see her. At one point, they put her up on the screen. You know, they have these screens, kind of like at the basketball games. People saw her and they were just clapping and cheering and so happy to see her. She went ahead and waved. Very nice. She looks lovely. She was extremely animated during the game, talking with Mr. Beaumont, watching the game go. You can tell that she's really into it. She's not one of those people that just goes to the sport because she just wants to go. She goes because she actually enjoys it. That's pretty obvious. I find it amazing that there is, you know, we have people online who, oh, Catherine's wearing that white. It's blah, 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 blah. She's worn the white outfit before. It's a rewear, guys, so get a grip. And even the jewelry set that she was wearing, she wore when Charlotte was christened back in 2015. So it's like 8 years old already. So I think some people need to, grow up just a little bit. Now remember, Catherine is patron of the Rugby Football Union and Rugby Football League. She's been the patron of both since February of 2022, and it did belong to Prince Harry, which I'm sure he's very unhappy about. Now, we all know that Catherine is very competitive. They're saying that she plays rugby in the backyard where she lives with her children on a regular basis. And as a result, Charlotte is just as competitive as she is. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing all of what Catherine was wearing. Everything was a rewear. And in case you didn't know, England won. And so after the game, Catherine went and spoke to some of the players. Typical Catherine. I just love this woman. And she looks fabulous as usual. All right, moving on. Here we go. Mike Tyndall has a podcast called The Good, the Bag, and the Rugby. And of course, Catherine and William, the Prince and Princess of Wales, marked the start of the Rugby World Cup with the family because they went on to the podcast. Princess Anne was also there. Now, Prince William admitted that the only time he ever cried when watching any kind of a sport was when Zara, his cousin, won in the horse races. That's the only time he says he ever cried. You know, William said a lot of things. He discussed the important lessons, that children get from doing team sports, the early years of playing team sports, that, how to lose well. And, it's important to understand how to lose, why we lose, and to grow from it and learn in that process. Then, of course, Catherine stepped up and Mike said, well, I'm not going to say you're not competitive because I've seen her play beer pong. Love that. Now, Catherine had a lot to say. First of all, she said that she and William have never, ever finished a game of tennis because it ends up becoming a mental challenge between the two of them. That's kind of an interesting little tidbit. Now, other than admitting that she plays beer pong with Mike Tyndall and that she can't finish a game of tennis with William, it also came out today that she loves cold water swimming at night. You have to wonder if that helps with her skin, because her skin is absolutely amazing. You know, everybody's always wondering what her deal is. Well, it could be the cold water swimming. Catherine says when it comes to the water, the colder, the better, slightly to the point where William is saying you're crazy and it's dark and it's raining. She says, it doesn't matter. I'll go out, seek the cold water, and I love it. Fabulous. Now, of course, Mike Tyndall said when it comes to the beer pong, he says, I've seen her play beer pong. You don't want to play with her. This is where you hit a table tennis ball into cups of beer, and the opponent has to drink the contents of any cup in which a ball lands. Now, at one point, Anne says, does Formula One come under your headline of different sports? Because I've driven one. Listen to this.
Does Formula One come under your headline of different sports?
Yeah.
Yes?
Because that was
Do you watch all of it?
That was enough. No, because I've driven one.
How was that?
How'd you get on?
We did 3 circuits, or at least I did 3 circuits of the club circuit at Silverstone. I think my only claim to fame is that I didn't stall it.
Wow.
Good.
Love that.
Very good driver, actually.
That is quite impressive.
You are a very good driver. So is your daughter.
What are you after?
Nothing. No, but that is. You've always loved driving. You drive everywhere.
We did go-karts. Don't forget.
I've sat in that Stuart racing car. Yeah, I look. I mean, you look horrendous, but I look like
had
Donkey
trouble
Kong.
getting into Francois Sever's seat.
I was like this.
I look like Bowser from Mario Kart. No one to get round me, but I won't go very far.
You've got to get into the seat. You're quite small.
And then because your legs sit above as well.
Trying to find a helmet to fit on my massive cowlick as well would not.
What I've noticed is that the family, this is just a family. They get along. It's obvious they like each other very much. They're just normal people. That's what you get from this. Now, this was done in the green drawing room at the Palace, of course. And I just think it's wonderful the way everybody just comes across as so, I don't know, real. Probably because they are. They're just a family. That's, I think, what they want you to remember. Now, I will say, when Catherine and William were asked about the kids, when it came to George, Charlotte, and Louis, you know, if they were competitive, and Anne said, well, just a little bit, I would say. And Catherine said, well, they all have different temperaments. They're trying out different sports. They're really young and, you know, that kind of thing. Very nice, though. I love it. All right. So while this was going on, people were coming out saying that William and Catherine sabotaged Harry's Invictus launch. I mean, let's be honest, people. First of all, this was Mike's podcast, not William and Catherine's. But let me just remind you of just a few items, okay? When William and Catherine went to Boston for the Earthshot Prize, while that was going on, Harry and Meghan decided it would be a good time to release the trailer for the Invictus Games, as well as the trailer for the Harry and Meghan show. And then remember when Catherine and William went to Pakistan? This is when Harry and Meghan decided to release the Are You OK interview. And this week, just before William and Catherine, like minutes before William and Catherine were due to lay that wreath, this picture of Harry paying tribute to his grandmother at Windsor suddenly popped up. They've been doing this for years. Remember, right before Louis's birthday photo was released, Harry and Meghan was suddenly papped walking Archie to school like she could walk him to school. So if William and Catherine turned the tables on him for once, well, here we show that the Invictus got 24,769 views and only 1.5 thousand likes in 15 hours. And yet, in 20 hours, there were almost 900,000 views and 32,000 likes on what was put out by the royal family. And this Twitter user is absolutely correct. It's family members that have filled the stadium. Here we go again. Invictus Games, Dusseldorf 2023. 692 people were watching on day 2. But when it came to the podcast, 937,000 views. That's power, people. Okay, I'm veering off a little because I just had to touch on this. Paul Burrell, the Queen's former footman, is saying that the Queen was very upset over not having contact with Harry and Meghan's children. And so when the family came back for the Platinum Jubilee, the Queen still didn't get to see the daughter on her birthday. She said she did see her the day before, but on her birthday, the Queen had a birthday cake made with one candle in it, and the family never showed up. Instead, they had a party at Frogmore Cottage in the backyard. And the next day, the Queen said, well, maybe they'd like to come up for tea. And they had to tell the Queen they've already left. And according to him, the Queen says, what do you mean they've gone? They've gone back to America? And she said they didn't even say goodbye. He said the Queen was very confused. And Burrell said the Queen was really, really hurt by their abrupt leaving without even so much as a goodbye. Now, this story is interesting for several reasons, and one of them being is that Harry and Meghan claimed that they had a party and that Mike and Zara and their children were at the party at Frogmore. But Mike and Zara have refuted that and said that that's not true. They were not there. So you really have to wonder what was going on, the whole thing. All that gets me is that she apparently was left hanging. How sad. All right, really quickly, I want to hit on this also. If you guys can imagine this, a new poll came out saying that Meghan now has a minus approval rating in the United States, even with this whole media blitz that they're doing, trying to repair their image. And she's trying to go back as an A-lister, but it hasn't landed the way it should. And a new poll shows only 31% of Americans like her and 33% don't, which gives her a -2. Okay, massive fall from grace in the United States. So all of this PR stuff that they're putting out isn't helping. All right, one more thing I just want to throw out here. You guys remember all the pictures that were taken of Harry and Meghan at the Beyonce concert and the dancing video, and everybody was like, what is going on? I told you guys the other day that the man got a free ticket. Well, he accidentally confirmed that, yes, that is exactly what happened. He was given a free ticket to the Beyonce concert and a small fee in exchange for taking these photos. And they're saying that, if anything, this shows the lengths to which Harry and Meghan will go to try to show everybody how happy they are. But apparently everything were constructed to look spontaneous and shareable. And unfortunately, this guy, Matt, did not cover his tracks well enough. And now it's come out that the whole thing was a setup. And this shows just to what lengths they'll go to. Let's be honest, guys. We all knew what was going on. She wasn't staring at the camera. Moving on. All right, here we go. The Invictus Games started. So Harry arrives in Germany, probably by private jet. We really don't know how he got there. And he walked into the Dusseldorf town hall, where he was met by the mayor of Dusseldorf, Stephen Keller. Now, people have to remember, this is not an official visit. He is just there for the Invictus Games. Now, you would think that everybody would be so happy to see him, but there were protesters standing out front. Not everybody was happy to see him. So Harry gets out of the car and he gets booed by the anti-war protesters that were out there. It was a demonstration against the German military involvement in the games. They're saying that the games are being used by the military in Germany to sign up new recruits. And people are really unhappy that he talked about the Taliban and his kill count because they feel like it made the games more dangerous, which it did. Now, going back, Lady C has come out and said the word is the reason Meghan's not doing the Invictus Games is that she had a lot of really ridiculous demands, like a helicopter from the hotel to the venue. Well, Harry got a helicopter, from the venue to some show that he went on. Now, you guys should know that during Harry's opening speech to the crowds, he made a dig about hanging up his uniform. Well, Neil Sean came out and said that Harry officially requested that King Charles reinstate his military titles that the Queen took away, and the request was denied, and Harry was absolutely furious. Yeah, I think Harry thought, well, Granny took them away, but Dad's here. Dad'll give them back. Yeah, it didn't happen. So Harry gets up to give his speech and he welcomes the Nigerian team to their first game and of course goes, it's going to be competitive in our house because did you know that Meghan is part Nigerian? Yes, we all know. The whole world knows. She told everybody. Like, she's not 45% Nigerian and giving birth to blonde, blue-eyed children. Believe me, with genetics, that's just not possible. Anyway, or 43% Nigerian. Yeah, whatever. You know what I find interesting, seriously interesting, is that you had all these people cheering, and isn't this wonderful? And then you look at the numbers like I showed you a little while ago, and you realize that the people that are cheering are either competitors or their family members. That's it. Nobody else. How sad is it that this is not getting the coverage and the backing it deserves because of Harry? It's just so sad. I wish he would just, step aside and let this grow into what it should be. You know what I mean? Now, when Harry was done with this, a private helicopter eco-warrior, Harry, got on a private helicopter and went to go get on a show. It's a national televised show there. And while he was there, he had 6 attempts to shoot a ball into a target, and he missed. In the meantime, the defense minister who happened to be there immediately started kicking the ball and they went in. I'm like, the man has absolutely no physical whatever in that regard. Now, when it was over and Harry lost, of course, they made him put on a scarf as a punishment, whatever. Now, the thing about this article that I found interesting is that it says in the article that Meghan is expected to join Harry later in the week and take part in the closing ceremony, and that Harry and Meghan are both going to be giving speeches. I find that interesting since, as far as we can tell right now, she's not on the list to do anything and isn't supposed to be there. Guess we'll have to see. You guys know what to do.